Experience the heartbeat of Hartford at the North Hartford Cultural District. We're preserving the essence of Black culture and transforming our streets into stages, galleries, and gathering spaces. From soulful music and breathtaking dance to bold visual art and hilarious local comedy, there's something for everyone. Whether you're a lifelong resident or new to the neighborhood, this is your invitation to connect, celebrate, and create lasting memories because we do it better together. And together we shine brighter. Be part of this powerful movement. Reach out to Luz Holmes-Padgett, founder and executive director at North Hartford AEE@gmail.com or visit North Hartford Cultural District Facebook and Instagram. North Hartford Cultural District, the vision realized, the culture revived, the movement ignited. Come feel the energy, come feel the pride, come experience Hartford like never before.
Welcome on another episode of Creators Corner. I'm your host, James Dale, and with me is the beautiful Luz Holmes-Padgett. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
She is the executive director at the North Hartford Cultural District. Can you please tell my audience a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. My name is Luz Holmes-Padgett. I am the creator and executive director of the North Hartford Cultural District. I've done a lot of work. I've grown up in Hartford and done a lot of work, not just in my youth, but now in my young professional career in the city of Hartford, all around the city of Hartford. A lot of my work that I've done, whether it's through consulting, community organizing, community capacity building, I've done primarily in the north side of Hartford. And so I'm really looking forward to this purpose project and this initiative that we are endeavoring.
Okay, before we get into that, I want to give a background of you and what motivated you. So that is my first question. What motivated you to become a community leader?
Absolutely. So since I was a youth, I would say as far as I can remember, 10 years old, I had the privilege of being involved in a lot of different, social justice activities, marches, and I was a part of a local acting company called Act Up Theater. And so a lot of the Black cultural movement and arts has been a part of my life for a really long time. I'm the youngest of 5 kids. And so where I have had the opportunity to be a part of these different spaces, I've been able to really get a lot of wisdom and learn a lot about where, the Black culture has evolved, Black history, heritage, how we have made such a monumental stake and not just here in the city and not just here in the state, but around the nation, around the globe. And so since I've been a youth, I've wanted to take a part in that. I wanted to build my legacy through what I knew and what I was being taught about really valuing and appreciating my ethnicity and my culture. And I identify as a Black Afro-Latina. And so really being able to have a stake in that and invest, not just money, but my time into preserving that culture for generations to come has always been forefront for me. And I truly believe that that's a part of my purpose of being, being the light for a lot of individuals to see through our culture.
And that's what we need in our community. We need leaders to be on a certain pedestal so the next generation can inspire to do something that means something to themselves. And you have what you're doing is a passion project. So every day you grow up and you go to work is beautiful for you because it's something that you love. So you mentioned that you are the last of 5 kids. So before you, were there anybody in your family that was community leaders or activists that, was a staple that you looked up to ensure that you wanted to do exactly what you're doing now?
I would say In a sense, one thing about my mother, as a single mother raising 5 kids, 2 boys, who were their oldest, she's always been an advocate for us when it came to education and furthering our education. And so she was really active when it came to our schooling. I went to Noah Webster Micro Society Magnet School, and that was actually my ability in that school, my ability to start leading. Because I was the president and part of the governance and everything. But she was really active in our productivity when it came to our education. And so when we would, she was like really close friends with my teacher.
That's good.
And so when it came to that relationship that I seen her fostering with my teacher, I kind of found respect for my teacher. She was a young Caucasian woman. And so before I seen that that wasn't something that a lot of parents had. And so I just started to see how she invested her time into showing me that I needed to respect this individual. This individual was there to help me and build my education. To this day, I still am connected with my first grade teacher, Ms. Guglielmo. And I really could appreciate that advocacy that my mom had just when I was younger. And so that made me really see that when you foster those trusted relationships, when you build, no matter what the color of the person's skin is, no matter, what it is, but when that person wants to invest time and energy into you, myself a generational curse breaker. I was the first to graduate a 4-year degree college.
Congratulations.
And thank you. In my family, and I've been able to pursue a lot of other things in my family that, like you said, I didn't see. But I, with my faith and my belief in God and really believing that He has purposed me to do things that have not been done before, I truly believe that this is one of those purposed, that's why I say purposed projects, because as you can see, this state appointed cultural district would be the first of its kind for the capital city. But this the whole vision was realized back in 2021 when I became the youngest NRZ chair for the city of Hartford. So I took on a role, shout out to Ms. Denise Best, who was my predecessor. She really believed that I could lead these residents and these individuals to something, to another level for specifically the Upper Albany NRZ. And so I ended up, I lived there, and she's seen my passion out of working with the City of Hartford's Community Engagement Office for about 3.5 years. And she's seen my passion for leadership and community engagement. And so she asked if I would take on her, her role as president of the Upper Albany NRZ. And so from there, I went in, I prayed on it, and I really started to gain wisdom. Not so much as jumping in because I know what needs to be. No. Really just gaining wisdom from those that could really give it to me, and I can foster even fill that gap, that generational gap of understanding of what the neighborhood needed at that time. And so was able to do a lot of things, rebuild the bylaws, active e-board, but from then I started to create collaboratives, not just in Upper Albany, but throughout North Hartford. And as you may have heard, there's a lot of siloed work that's done, not just in North Hartford, but around the city. And so my idea was to really see how we can do this thing together, how we can revitalize the communities together. And so that's really how everything started, was my work through the NRZ of getting all of the different all the different programs, resources, groups, and organizations together to try to really revitalize not just their neighborhood, but North Hartford as a whole.
That's beautiful. And shout out to the capital city for putting out that effort to bridge the gap between the different cultures, you know. And in my opinion, there's only one city. It should be a North End or South End or East End or West End. Everybody is living in Hartford together. When you write a letter to somebody, you know, you put Hartford, you put North End of Hartford, you know what I mean? So we all, in projects like this, it bridges the gap and brings us all together, and there's no separation, it's only inclusion. So people in the faculty, people in positions of power that has the drive to bring people together, they're doing their thing, and they're doing what they're supposed to do, having a purpose, and allowing people like yourself to showcase their talent, showcase their love for their culture and for their city. So beautiful things.
Absolutely, yes.
And I can't wait to see all of the things that's going on, that will go on, and the people that's going to be inspired from projects like this. How does the district promote arts and culture within the Hartford community?
Absolutely. So the North Hartford Cultural District, first we wanted to put power to place, right? And so I'm sure you're familiar with just the culture and the atmosphere around Artist Collective.
Yes.
I was actually one of those individuals, my husband as well and his family, part of that kind of that boom of Artist Collective when they show just the essence of Black excellence and what it meant to do that in so many different ways, and arts is this and arts is that, and how it can look so different but really all come together. And so I really intended to put power into place through this project. And so we created a district hub right in Artist Collective, built that partnership so that we could bring power into place when it came to that being the beacon of light, right, for these the neighborhoods. And so we created that. Then we went further to highlighting in this inaugural time that we're in with the district hub, pre-designation of the state. We wanted to say, let's use this space now that we've gotten it sponsored. Shout out to Artist Collective for extending that time period, but they have given us leverage to be able to utilize a space that is really in high demand because of the traffic and the openness of it, to allow artists and creatives to come and showcase their art and creativity at no cost.
That's the major
at
thing.
No cost.
That's the major thing.
And so while this will definitely be something that evolves once we are officially designated, we wanted to show them like we're here. We want to support, individuals that have those businesses, that have those startups, and let them showcase it and show what they're doing before we have to, as you can imagine, meet that demand of the first cultural district for a capital city. So we wanted to use that effort, and we call it Black and Culture, Black and Color. And so it's just space that we use right inside the district area and outside the district area. It's an opportunity to recruit not just district members, but also district partners if you're a small business. But as the weather gets warmer, this is a positive way to activate that space rather than it just be an idle space. But bring back that family reunion, go outside, play some spades, play some dominoes, play, double dutch, and those things we used to do when we was just outside before the street lights came on.
I remember that.
Right? And not being on a device, but being outside and hearing some music, just some live, chill jazz music. That's the kind of atmosphere we want to bring back to this space for the cultural district, and hopefully we get a great turnout and people see that this is something that we do well. Our culture does it well when it comes to that space and being outside and just saying hi to the neighbor and remember Miss Gloria's house and Miss Gloria's gonna bring some cookies. Just those type of things, bringing that back to the power places. So that's what we intend to do just in this inaugural time, and hopefully that can continue once we're officially designated.
And I think that's important because community is something that raises us all. A lot of us who are in positions of power, who are adults and are adulting in our own avenues, we tend to forget about going outside. because we are so focused, driven on what the end goal is, and keeping up with family and paying bills and things of that nature. And we forget that we used to jump double dutch and play scales and hopscotch and run up to Miss Luz's house to get egg cream or whatever that neighbor was known for, you know. And that is something that is lost in our community because we are so focused on ourselves, you know, and that is a societal thing, and it is something that we need to get back to basics on. You mentioned Artist Collective. My daughter's danced at Artist Collective since it was 3, so shout out to the individuals out there at Artist Collective and Miss Savannah and everybody who spearheads the dance. And dance is something that is in our culture that we use to not only represent who we are as a people, but to showcase a message, to tell a message to the people on the outside looking in who we are. It represents our history, you know, and if you really understand the different beats and rhythms and the steps, it tells a story of the inception of our culture to where it's been and where it's going to be. So it's a beautiful thing that we all get in together, and the next generation is going to come in involved and say, you know what, I can do this, and my stamp on the culture can be included in it, and it could be a notch. Like my kids, when they were growing up, I used to put notches on the wall when they grew up to a certain spot. And when I moved out of my place, I took a picture of that to see where they were when they were small to where they were before we moved. So what types of events and programs does the district offer to residents and visitors?
Awesome. So we just, as I said, we're in the inaugural period. So while I am the executive director of this awesome organization or passion project, when you hear that, you hear, oh, she gets paid to do this. There is absolutely no funding that's coming in.
Tell people.
Absolutely no funding that's coming into this.
This is a passion project, so people out there who want to, you know, invest and donate to the cause, please do. To grow it, to foster it, to allow other people to be interested, to come involved into the whole thing. You mentioned that startup businesses, you know, they are involved in the whole
so we desire them to come. We desire those businesses. When it comes to just artists, creatives, you don't have to have an LLC or entity, but we want you to get connected so that we can help foster your creativity. Who's to say that you can't continue to do what you love through the arts and be able to live off of it, right? Who's to say that? And so we really want to foster that. So we do have a membership partnership base. And so the idea is to build that. If you want to become a member during this inaugural time, is so important because we want to recruit members and partners through a very, very generous level. So members come in at $50 and you benefit not just through the space usage of the district space, but you also benefit from being able to promote your entities through our promotional system. And you also benefit from any type of vending discounts or opportunities that the district sponsors for that as well, festival-like events. And so those are some of the benefits of a member. And as you can imagine, once we get designated, we will have to meet the demand of a capital city state-appointed cultural district. So those membership fees are going to jump very high. And I know a lot of people look at me like, this is what we have to do to be able to sustain this type of we're changing a system when it comes to the arts and culture to say that if you invest into something such as this, of preserving the Black arts, culture, heritage, history, if you invest in it, you're going to reap the benefits.
You're going to get a return.
And so we want you to be able to do that at a lower cost during this inaugural period that goes up until September 1st. And so that's that. And then we have partner commitments. So we have the ability for any organizations that have employees, that have individuals that want to become an inaugural partner of the district, you can come on and make a commitment as low as $100, and that commitment will be grandfathered for the next 3 years of the cultural district. So it's actually a benefit if you come in as, let's say, a legacy preserver partner, and you pay that let's say $2,500 now, all of the benefits of even the subsidy of venue sponsorship from the Artist Collective. They have an amazing venue, and they want district partners to be able to benefit from that if they have their own galas and events and things of that sort. So that's one of the big assets of becoming a partner, right? You have a venue space that is going to be very low cost because you're part of this collaborative. And so that's that. And so we want them to join now, because that annual fee will be grandfathered every 3 years for the next 3 years, compared to a partner coming in after post designation, where they would have to be probably paying 3 times as that every annual year. So it's really it's an incentive and a benefit for partners and members to join now, while we're in this phase, because the sky's the limit with what this collaborative and this purpose project can bring to the overall city of Hartford and the state of Connecticut.
Could you tell my people how can they get connected? How can they donate? What's the
Absolutely.
website?
So you can always email us, North Hartford AEE@gmail.com. We will have a landing page coming up through one of our sponsors, which I'll give you guys updates on that. But we do have for you to get more information about the evolution of this purpose project, we have a hybrid district orientation every other Tuesday. So the next one is actually coming up this Tuesday, May 27th. It will be hybrid. So we'll be located at 1200 Albany Avenue at the Artist Collective building at 5:30 to 7:30 to give you more information about that. And then there'll also be a Zoom. So it'll be hybrid. So you can either come in person or you can come online. But for you to find out more information, we have these orientations every other Tuesday. But if you need more information about that, you can always email us.
Okay, that's beautiful. So how do you engage local artists and performers in your initiatives?
Absolutely. So we hope to evolve this concept, but with the help of the team of creatives that are a part of this, we have been started something called Black in Color, and this is one to engage artists that may not be on a mainstream platform, but to engage them on a smaller level with utilizing the district space during these summer months. And so they can always reach out to us through email, get onto our e-blast list, and then every week we're sending out opportunities for them to just reserve a space, free space, to come and promote, whether it's their business, sell items, whether it's their creative arts. I believe in June we're going to be having a gospel karaoke artist coming to host gospel karaoke. And so there's so many forms of art and creativity that we want to showcase here at the district area, 1200 Albany Avenue. So that's one way that we're engaging artists. We're also going to be through our one of our marketing sponsors, Mr. Donald Padgett. He's going to be starting the effort of a podcast. And so we're going to be, specifically for the Juneteenth event, we have our big inaugural festival-like event that we're engaging all of our current partners. We have about 8 partners that are on board and members that are coming on board. We're going to be doing an inaugural march, as well as a Black Excellence Experience on June 19th. And so we want to get a lineup of artists, whether it's dance, whether it's singing, whether it's culinary, whether all the forms of arts, right? We want to highlight them up to that point. And so through our district podcast, we'll be featuring artists to come on and give a little snippet about what is to be expected at that June 19th event. And so we'll be showcasing them there as well. And then we have leaders that are coming on board. We've connected on a national level as well. And so we've connected with Springfield Cultural District. And we have some leaders that are going to be coming and advising us on how we can really continue to engage artists and provide opportunities to artists. And so we look forward to evolving how we really support and provide those opportunities to individuals that are coming in and desire to live off of their creativity and thrive off of their creativity. Because who says that we can't?
We should. We need to, and that's one of the reasons why I started, Creatives Corner, to promote individuals such as yourself and creatives who work a 9-to-5 and they are creatives and they do their creativity as a part-time thing. So it's community events like the one that you mentioned that fosters individuals to take a chance on themselves and to see that they can make a living of their creativity. It's beautiful to be creative,
mm-hmm.
And it should be lucrative.
Absolutely.
You shouldn't be afraid to be yourself. You shouldn't be afraid to be free. You shouldn't be afraid to love who you are and love your culture, because who you are is who you are. Every day you wake up, you are who you are. Every day you go to sleep, you are who you are. When you go out in different cultures, in different countries, in different states, you represent who you are. Exactly. And you put your culture on your back. So who's to say that you should be quiet about yourself? Anybody be yourself, okay? In what ways does the district foster a sense of community and inclusion that promotes individuals to, like I mentioned, to be themselves outside of their community? Because a lot of people, they think they can sing and they sing in the shower, but when they get out in a crowd of people, they don't sing because they don't think they have the chops. But you do have the chops. That's what karaoke is.
Yes.
Is to showcase that talent.
Yes.
So you can, people could say, you know what, that girl good.
Yes.
That boy good.
So a lot of things that I've heard with individuals coming into Hartford, and when it comes to the arts and cultural scene, specifically Black, that Black cultural scene, is there's nothing to do. Mm. And I'm like, wait.
There's so much.
Because I have about 5 things on my calendar, right? And I found that there's so much happening, but in some sense, nothing. Because when someone comes into Hartford and they want to just, get to a cookout or get to a hair chat with the girls or whatever, how can they find that, right? And so this district is really to foster, like you said, that inclusion. When someone, to be a tourist-like space for when someone comes into Hartford or let alone Connecticut and say, I want to be engulfed in a Black experience. I want to be engulfed in what Black excellence means to me, right? Everyone wants to see what their identity or what they identify with themselves looks like on a communal level, especially when they come into a capital city, right? And so while you have, for me, I was able to go down to Artists Collective and hear them African drums seeping out of the building. I was able to see the jazz ensemble actually playing all of these different instruments outside on the street, on the concrete. Right.
And it's young kids doing the jazz music. It's not the older persons that's in their 40s and the 50s and their 60s that actually lived during the jazz era.
It's intergenerational, actually.
13, 14-year-olds that's playing the saxophone. And those instruments.
And so my husband actually is a musician for a living. And so he does organ, he does music, and he does drums and piano. And so there's a medicine within the arts that our culture and Black excellence narrative has thrived off of for forever. And so the cultural district aims to be a hub where that it eliminates boundaries, truthfully, for what Black excellence can look like and do for our community. But for those coming in to the community, it aims to be able to be like a beacon of light saying, Black excellence is here. Go to this corner of North Hartford, go to this corner, go to this corner. And hopefully we can penetrate just North Hartford and we can really be that Black excellence and culture epicenter for all of Connecticut, right? And so with making those connections to other cities, and we plan on taking a trip up to New Haven's Black Wall Street, and we plan on taking a trip up to the African American celebration that happens in New York, right? New York, and so Philadelphia and Boston. It's not to limit this movement, because as you know, this preservation of Black culture and heritage and history is a national movement that's propelling all around the nation right now. And so we want to have a stake in that national movement that's happening and not gatekeep, but more so show that we're here and let our brothers and our sisters over in another country know that we are here, and let us know how we can tag team with you to preserving Black excellence, culture, heritage throughout the nation and globally.
And that's beautiful. And you mentioned when people come, that's outside of the culture, that come into the different cities like Chicago and Philly and New York and Hartford, they want to experience the culture. There should be like a welcome committee, like a QR code that leads them to a website so people could know the itinerary and what's going on in that city during that day and during that time, so they can experience the culture outside of their culture, and they can bring back to their neighborhood and say, you know, I went to Hartford and I experienced this and this, and I met this young lady or this young man, and they were just professional, and the culture is so rich. How can we invest in it?
Exactly.
You know, how can that grow outside of these little small hubs so it can be a thing? Not just a Black thing, but an art thing. So people could say it's not Black jazz or Black culture, it's culture. I want to live in a day and during a time where you can take the misnomer of Black or white or Irish or whatever out of it and just say, this is a culture from this region and we want to learn about that region, and not saying that it is Black because it's not put on a pedestal, it's not well known, it's not promoted, you know. So it's community events like this and district things in this culture, in this city, that can promote that to allow it to be a mainstream thing and not just something that you hear about and you have to look about. It's something that is a staple in all communities, in every community. What challenges as you have this district has faced bringing arts to North Hartford, and how have you overcome them?
So this is not an effort of bringing arts to the North Hartford. North Hartford has exemplified that they are they're a hub, a main mecca for creative, cultural individuals. And so I've seen it, I would say probably in the last, I'm young, I'm only 30, but probably in the last 15 years, I've seen what North Hartford has birthed, what it has cultivated, Individuals such as she's like a second mom to me, Faith Lynn Johnson, who still is going strong with Act Up Theater. That was a theater company that literally at the time back then, we were making the backdrops. And she's gonna laugh at this. We would say at the school at that time when we would put on these non-traditional productions that were ingrained in heritage. I've learned about Billie Holiday through these productions. I've learned about the Harlem Renaissance through these productions and history through something that I love to do, which is acting and singing. And so for her to have been able to do that, and truthfully, as the youngest of 5, she took me out of an environment to foster my creativity that in other ways could have been troublesome to my career now. I would not have been here, and I can say this to attest to it, without Faith Lynn Johnson's pouring into my creative side and giving me an outlet from where I was back when I was 10, 11, 12 years old. I mean, we were living in not the best neighborhoods and not the best spaces. And so what I can say is that those type of individuals, Miss Terry Starks, Mama Kim, and Miss Akila, and I was a part of Mama Cheryl, and all of these individuals have been able to take young people out of their the monotony of disparity and pain and trauma, and take them into a space of creativeness to be able to foster and cultivate the creative sides of them. And so this project is not creating anything. It's enhancing and preserving and kind of bringing light to all of those individuals that felt the need that their creative sides were not lucrative enough here in Hartford, Connecticut. I want to bring light to the fact that those creatives can come back because there is an entity that is ready to show what you have brought and the stamp that you have left here in Hartford in regards to Black excellence and Black culture and heritage. But also, if you would like to have and leave a legacy, and I say a legacy because we're going to be creating for our inaugural partners and members bricks right in front of Artist Collective. If you've been there, there's engraved bricks that show individuals that have poured into the legacy of the arts and culture and Artist Collective. We are going to continue that legacy of actually engraving those bricks in a way of all of the individuals that take part in this cultural district. So we're bringing that back, and we're going to use this district as a catalyst to, one, bringing those creatives back to this space, and so that our next generation can say, oh wow, you don't have to leave to be able to be creative. And so that's what the district is doing. It's not creating anything, but it's bringing all of those pieces back together and saying, how can we sustain this district passion project with everybody on board? Not just this organization, not just this organization, not just this person, but let's get us all together and see how we can really show what the power of this place is, because there is truly power in North Hartford when it comes to Black culture and heritage. So we're just really trying to highlight that and enhance it so that people all around the nation can see what individuals from North Hartford have brought to the culture and to the mission of the district, but also how we can foster individuals coming through to meet that legacy as well and get enhanced through that legacy.
And it's all about inclusion.
Absolutely.
It's all about inclusion, and that's what the main focus is inclusion, allowing everybody to know that not that we shall overcome, because we already overcame that. We just want people to remember that the culture exists.
Yes.
Remember that it is a viable source of our community and who we are, and we do great things. We do positive things. It's not like the things that people see on the news about Hartford being X, Y, and Z. I'm not going to mention, but there is a beautiful side of Hartford.
Absolutely.
There is the future in the kids. There is the education. There is the arts in all forms: martial arts, culinary arts, acting, singing, dancing, and what you're doing is an art form as well. Being a community leader is something that you have to have passion for, and the definition of art is something that you have passion for. It is an outlet of who you are and what you want to promote, because they say art is relative to the person that is consuming the art form. So don't think that what you're doing is not an art form. Is whatever that you love to do and you will do in your sleep, you will do for free. It's all in beautiful. It's all inclusive.
And our young people will reach that potential and that space of acknowledgement and understanding quicker. I believe this, when they are able to see it, and when they're able to see it and experience it. And so that's why it's so urgent in this time for us to be able to show the younger generation what the essence of Black excellence is through arts and culture and history, because they will be able to come to that acknowledgement space a lot quicker when they're able to see it and experience it.
Just move forward just a little bit. So now you animated when you answer your question, and you move back and forth. So I want to make sure you see everything.
I got you.
Okay, I'm going to cut that part out.
Okay.
What impact have you seen on the local community since the district's inception?
So I mean, since I'm not even going to say the district inception, it's prior, right? Because we had this vision was realized back in 2021, after the work that we had did with the North Hartford Chair Collaborative, right? When we got all of the NRZ chairs first, and it had never been done before, but all of the NRZ chairs came together in North Hartford to be able to send up letters to the mayor's office of things that were not just happening in the neighborhoods, in the silo neighborhoods, but the overall North Hartford, right? So all of those collaboratives had really came to this monumental point of the first North Hartford Community Day. And that was a collaboration between the North Hartford Cultural District. Unofficially, it was called the North Hartford Arts, Education, and Entertainment District, made up of individuals like myself, Rob Poet, Terry Starks, LaShawn Robinson, Mr. Rob Poet's wife. We were unofficial at that time, but we knew the need even back then to bring these entities together. And so we ended up collaborating with the city of Hartford to put on this first North Hartford Community Day. And this was the preview of what it could. And there's a video on YouTube, shout out to HPA TV, that was able to cover it. And that will be has agreed to be our media sponsor for the Juneteenth event. So thank you to them. But they covered just a preview of what it can look like to bringing power to place. For the North Hartford communities, where it was a day-long event. We shut down the streets of the Woodland Connector area, and we had activations all throughout the day. I mean, we had jazz music happening inside with a mixer, some wine. We had farmers markets and life-size games and activations, all to the point where you had bodegas coming over and just bringing waters and juices. You had Seventh-day Adventists, shout out to them as well. Seventh-day Adventists, that was their service day. And because we had connected with them, they said, we would absolutely conclude our service at a certain time. And we want to ask if we can come out and do some blood pressure checks. And if we can do some praying, and we can do... Absolutely. Yeah. So they cleared out their parking lot at a certain time to meet our itinerary. And they came out, they brought their table, they had their individuals coming over in their nice dresses and everything. They parked in the designated area and they came back to the district area. It was an amazing sight to see. You had people coming from Tower Avenue across Keeney Park walking because they heard all the music. North United Methodist Church had steel pan. I mean, it was a sight to see. It was an absolute sight to see. But that was the beginning of saying, wow, this community thrives off of community. Mm-hmm. And so we ended up concluding that with an outdoor movie. And what I remember about this was at that time, there was a large shooting that had happened right up the street from Artist Collective. Mm-hmm. And it was on the news. It was a big thing. Actually, someone, innocent bystander, had gotten shot right through their window, and it was so heart-wrenching. Yeah. And I was receiving calls from people saying, "You still gonna have this? You still gonna have this? You still gonna, I don't know. It's not too safe. It's not to be outside and all that." And that was one of the barriers that I had, mm-hmm. that I'm still experiencing, that we have identified this particular community that thrives, that have built all the way from Jackie McLean, have set us on the map for creativity through the arts and music and dance and rites of passage, being put into a box of violence, mm-hmm. and known for drive-by shootings and gang violence and all of these things. And I said, no, we're going to have it. Mm-hmm. We're going to have it. And we did that outdoor movie. When I tell you, we had about 50 families right outside Artist Collective in the parking lot, Jumbotron. We gave them popcorn. They had their blankets. They had their car. Amazing sight. Shout out to the Hartford police that were, just camped out at the edge of the street as well. But no bothers. Quiet night. These young people were able to experience an outdoor movie, mm-hmm. right after this incident had happened, because they believe
in the community.
Mm-hmm. They believe that if this is something that's happening, that the individuals in the community will keep them safe, mm-hmm. to be able to enjoy something like this. And so the challenge that we continue to have is, one, that narrative that has been created around our community. Mm-hmm. Two is, for so long, there has been a political hold and red tape around doing something like this, mm-hmm. to the point where, as I mentioned, we're still in the inaugural phases because we have not gotten the official resolution passed through our municipality for us to become the first cultural district state-appointed cultural district for the city of Hartford. Why? Why not? Mm-hmm. Right? With all that we've invested through culture and arts and everything that we can name off, why not? Right? And so there's still that political red line tape that's happening because individuals want to have a monetary stake or some type of other stake into this. But this is the first community-led state-appointed cultural district. And we're going to hold to that because I believe that the community can lead this effort of getting this designation. And I may be crazy, and we'll figure it out. We'll see. But I believe that the community will be invested enough to say that we can bring all that our next generations and generations to come when it comes to arts, culture, and heritage through Black excellence, through this catalyst. I believe that the community can lead this, and now it buckles down to the community. Really, you have the opportunity. Let's see if you'll meet the challenge.
We all got to come out and get over that stigma that inner city is bad and
mm-hmm.
inner city is violent and inner city is unsafe. It's only unsafe by the element who feeds into that stigma. We got to get over that, and we got to create opportunities for individuals to not lead towards the path of
Absolutely.
crime, and to lead towards education, to lead towards something that you're passionate about, and to bring our community together so people inside the community as well as outside the community can feel safe.
Absolutely.
And you will need a phone call from the mayor's office or from any entity saying, just like you stated, do you still want to do this in the face, in the wake of all of these violent things that's happening? And we would need security to man us in order to ensure our safety in our own community.
Community.
We need to bring it back to basics, and all of the mom and pop stores could give out candy to the young kids who get straight A's on their grades. You know what I mean? Like when I was a kid, we would all get tested, and whenever we pass the test from the store owners, we get an opportunity to dig our hand in some candy. You know what I mean? So some kind of incentives for the people, so we in the culture, we in the communities could feel good about our community and not think to ourselves, I'm going to go to school so I can get out of this bad neighborhood. I am not going to go back there because there is a stigma of violence. There is too many drug dealers and users and pushers and all of these individuals, gangs, that is preventing us from feeling safe, preventing us for being ourselves. When I was a kid growing up, my parents and other people in the community would send me to the store. And I'm a young man, and I have a note, and I will go and go shopping, and I will build a rapport with the shop owners. Some of the people was outside of the community, but by individuals like myself, introducing myself and coming there more often, they get an opportunity to know the culture, and we will be more than just a shopper. We are actual people in the community, and it's not them being there as a business, even though that's important, but they are a part of the community too. So when events like what you are putting on, you have the shop owners that could invest certain things, bring out waters or candy or snacks, or even monetary gain, a little funding or something to show that they are a part of the community too, and which is very important. How do you envision the future growth and development of the North Hartford Cultural District?
Oh my. I truly envision that the North Hartford Cultural District can be a nationally known model and example to revitalizing and advancing and creating a thriving community through creativity, through arts, through culture, and all of the different elements of those, right? And so when it comes to jobs, when it comes to basic needs, when it comes to health, when it comes to mental health, when it comes to all of these different elements of what makes a thriving community, I truly believe that arts, culture, and history can be a catalyst to building that up in a community. And so while we are not the direct entities that will be doing it, we want to build an alliance and a collaborative of those entities so that when someone is able to, so that we act as a lighthouse in a sense. When an individual needs any type of resources, services, or a quick get up or whatever, to advancing their life or their family unit, that the cultural district can aid in not just navigation and access, because we have everything, all of the information in one space and all of the camaraderie, but we can also use this collaborative of partners and entities to do festival-like events, right? Instead of having multiple mental health awareness events or multiple in regards to Black culture, Black History Month events or whatever, it's not to dictate everyone's events. Absolutely not. It's more so to work intentionally, strategically, in figuring out how we can do it better together as one. And that's the key to it. It's not, they're going to tell us what to do. No. one, we want you to tell us what you're doing so that we can be able to be that beacon of information to share out. But we also want to be able to see if there's a way that if it's specifically Black cultured and Black excellence related, how can we do it better together and engage everybody to make it more accessible and successful linkage to our community. And so that's really the vision of the district, is to be that beacon of light when it comes to anything in relation to arts, culture, history, education for this community. But because it's community led, it's going to become a model. Because if you look around, most of the cultural districts are municipal led. And so they're being led by a municipality. Hence, you have a lot of better promotion, better flyers, better all that good stuff, because it's being supported and pushed by a municipality. But as you can see, this is totally being invested. And shout out to my beautiful, just amazing husband, Isaiah.
What's your husband's name?
Yes, Isaiah Padgett, the father of my baby boy. Shout out to you, Isaiah, because he sees, and I'm always going to get a little emotional, but he believed in me before anybody else that came on board. And I have a slew of individuals that are supporting this and that can see the vision, and they're investing their time into this. They're investing time that they could be spending anywhere else. So shout out to my board and my executive leadership team for investing your time. Most of all, the advertisement and the promotional material and everything that's going into this June 19th event, that is out of the pockets of my family. It's out of the pockets of my family. And so I thank my husband, because it takes these things, and a lot of people know it takes these type of things that we want to change systems and change especially disparity and oppressive systems in communities like ours. It requires sacrifice, and it requires not just time sacrifice, but it also requires monetary sacrifice. And so that's the vision of it, and we can only hope and pray that through our membership, through our partnership commitments, and hopefully through the City of Hartford's support in this project, that we can really take it to a whole nother level and create that model, a national model of collaboration, intentional strategic collaboration between entities.
Shout out to all spouses out there in the world who are supportive, and all parents who are supportive, and family members and friends, and everybody who is on board. And it's events like this and programs like this that warms my heart and inspires people like you to do great things. And you mentioned that it is the first, is not the first, is not going to be the last, it's going to be one of. Hopefully it is going to inspire other people to do the very same thing, so we can all be like this and be a community again. Make America a community again. That is a beautiful slogan. So can you tell my audience exactly where they can go, all of your social media handles, anything that you want to say, words of wisdom, or anything to my audience? Absolutely. So if you would like to get connected to us at this time, we want you to join our e-blast. So you would just email North Hartford AEE @gmail.com. But I'm going to tag in Mr. Donald Padgett, because he's been doing amazing work around
our small businesses and our artists and creatives, and he has come in as a marketing sponsor for this Purpose Project. And so I do want to highlight him really quick to give his information in regards to if anyone wants to directly get a reach out or has an artist or a creative that they want to connect to any of our work. An amazing team of individuals thus far. You will absolutely be able to see all of those amazing individuals that are a part of the team once our landing page comes on. But I do encourage any young people that would like to be a part of this effort, this initiative, this Purpose Project. We encourage you to come on. There's so many ways that you can get activated and embedded into this, the vision of this cultural district, and we need all of the insight. There's opportunities for us to have advisors on as well. And so if you anyway want to get involved in the vision in this Purpose Project and what we are going to be endeavoring, I encourage you to get on board. And we can't wait to have you. And I look forward to doing it better together as one. This is the time, this is the moment. And so I hope that someone is encouraged, and I hope that you get involved and get connected to the North Hartford Cultural District.
And on that note, my name is James Dale. This is Creators Corner. This is Miss Luz Holmes-Padgett. Can't forget the pageant. Shout out to Mr. Isaiah Padgett. Shout out to all the people out there, and get involved.
Yes.
And on that note, see you on the next one.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in. Join us next time.
Join us June 19th, 2025, all day long at the Artist Collective, 1200 Albany Avenue here in Hartford. Enjoy live music, dynamic dance performances, interactive art, comedy, and fun for the whole family. Experience the rich history and vibrant spirit of Juneteenth with your community. Don't miss this unforgettable day of arts, culture, and celebration. Reach out to Luz Holmes-Padgett or visit North Hartford Cultural District Facebook, Instagram.